Good afternoon. When I get a chance to pick the music, and I got to choose that one this year because happy is the theme today, somebody said, "Are you going to dance?" I said, "I do not dance." So we're good. That was awesome. And yes, the theme is happy. We're going to talk about some things today that I think are going to make other people happy, as well as the people that are here too. We've got about 8 different topics that we'll go through. I want it to be as succinct as possible, and we'll move quickly. There's a lot of numbers and a lot of text and a lot of information in this presentation. We'll post the slides. I'm not going to read every number. I'm not going to read every piece of text on the slides. I really will use that as a chance to just guide you through where we are, because I know that anything that lasts longer than about 40 minutes is not going to be worthwhile. So let's start with enrollment. Fall of 2022. That's what just happened, right? Those are the people that are here right now. And the key words on this slide are up. First-year students, up 7%. Our goal is to keep our undergraduate students constant. And if you look at the 14,402 undergraduate students, that's our goal. We want to keep it there. So we had to raise our first-year students a little bit because our transfer students went down 24% actually since 2018. And that's not us being less attractive to transfer students. It's really because the number of students who are in community colleges, number of students who are looking for that opportunity to transfer from 2-year to 4-year schools is decreasing. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later, how we can help increase that. Everything else is up as well. Underrepresented minority students, graduate students, full-time, part-time, in-state, out-of-state, international, all up. And that's because, well, maybe we had a down year because of the pandemic, but also because of a lot of hard work that our staff puts into recruiting our next year students and the efforts that we put behind it. And what does that result? Great students. Just some highlights of some students. And you can go back and look at these slides and check them, and I hope these students grab these slides and forward them to their parents as well. These are some outstanding students from each of our 6 colleges. We've got Deanna and Katie from pharmacy, who won a pharmaceutical sciences competition last year, all the way down to the lower right-hand corner of the School of Management, this transformational leaders program that the School of Management has created under the leadership of our great friend and colleague Upinder Dhillon, helping hundreds of students achieve their goals who might not have had the ability to achieve their goals in previous years without this program. And I should give a shout out to the athletics department as well. We've been here 11 years and always don't have great athletic programs sometimes. We struggle a bit. It's because our academic standards are so high. It's always tough to find the right students to fill all of our positions. But look at the results. Women's volleyball, from last place to first place, America East season champions. And our new coach who turned that program around. Women's soccer, America East season champions. And unfortunately, in the last shot, they lost to New Hampshire in the finals, or they would have gone to the NCAAs. But a huge successful year for the women's soccer team. Men's baseball, they won the America East Championship, and they went to the Nationals. Now, they ended up in Palo Alto, which made the students really happy because the other sites were things like Mississippi and North Carolina. So going to California was exciting for them. Of course, that meant that they had to play Stanford in the first round. If anybody was watching or listening to that game, you remember we were ahead at the end of the first inning. I think it was 1-0. Might have been 2-0. And after that, stuff happens, right? It's baseball. But they're going to come back this year and be even stronger. And men's basketball. I know Gene's here. I don't know if Lavelle is here. They were 4-1, and then they lost on Sunday to Maine. They were going to be first place. They've never been in first place since I've been here. I can't imagine having a basketball team in first place. But they were in first place for a couple of hours over the weekend, and now they're in second place. And it is the best conference start that we've ever had in 17 years. This is a tough place. College is hard. And our students are the ones who have to do most of the work that is hard to do for them. I mean, faculty have hard jobs, we understand that. Staff have hard jobs, we understand that. But for students, it's kind of unknown. And they're sort of here alone. They show up, they don't have friends, they have to make friends, they have to do all this work. They hope they're successful, we want them to be successful, but we know that the stress continues to get higher and higher each year. So what we've tried to do is to put support for them in mental health, academic support, and when they can't get that live in-person support, online support. So adding new counselors, increasing the activities within our Healthy Campus initiative, expanding and enhancing the care team, and making sure that the Students of Concern Committee is well staffed. The academic support programs, we have a great new director, Kristen Zamansky. I don't know if Kristen is here today, but yes, thanks, Kristen. Thanks for being here. An outstanding new director for our Students with Disabilities program. And 8% of our students report and identify needing help, needing some accommodation. And our faculty and our staff, and they do a tremendous job of making sure that these students have that extra support. Harper Edge, new director there, Aaron Cody, has done an amazing thing with Harper Edge and expanded it. Hundreds of programs, thousands of students have been reached through Harper Edge. So it's really good that we know that students can be successful. They've got the academic tools, but how do we give them that support around the edges? And this is extremely important to their success. How successful are they? Well, let's compare them to some other schools. First year retention rate, the highest in SUNY for 5 years in a row. 6-year graduation rate, the highest in SUNY. This is what we do. And we know how hard it is for our students to do it. And that's why it's so important that we put all that structure and support around our students. But another thing that they track is how successful they are 10 years after they graduate. Okay, we know that we got them out of here. What do they do after that? Well, again. Class of 2027. Holy crow. What's going on? Applications up 20% over last year. We already know that we had a tremendous number of applications that was growing every year, but now we're at 47,000. In fact, somebody said you should probably have this as a live number because it changes constantly. We think we're probably around 49,000 right now. We made these slides a couple of days ago. But 20% over last year. Now, SUNY helped this a little bit. They did a great marketing campaign for us. But, as I say, happy? Yeah, we're happy. It's happy to have a lot of applications. But we've got an admissions office that has to read them all, too. So they're not as happy. But they know that when they're done, they will be very happy because they'll have a great group of students to select from. Out of state, up. International, up. Fall transfer applications, also up. So these are all good things. Graduate admissions also up 21% from 2022. Still a low number, though. We need to improve the number of graduate applicants that we have. And we know that the international market is coming back, and we can see more students applying there. But we also have to make sure that we nurture our students into our 4+1 programs so that they stay here and get their master's and be ready for a career after they leave Binghamton. So, you got a great place, you have great results, you have great applicants. What else do you need? There's more ingredients to the whole pie that you're putting together here. Well, you have to make it accessible. Tuition, room, board, in-state student, about $30,000 a year. Out-of-state student, even more than that. It's a lot of money. Even though some of our local competitors who are private can charge, or say they charge $70,000, $80,000 a year. It's still a lot of money. So we've been working really hard through our campaign to make sure that we tell our alums that this is our highest priority. We need to make Binghamton accessible, the exceptional accessible. So I have an announcement to make. Get kind of welled up right now because this is a big announcement. This is a really big announcement. We just got a $25 million endowment from an anonymous family to support 100 undergraduate scholarships. 80 of them will be up to $10,000 a year, and 20 of them will be full scholarships. Full scholarships. Everything, room, board, tuition, fees, for the outstanding students that apply here. Again, the admissions office is really happy. They have a new tool to bring in the best students, but they also now have to pick out of a large number of students who's going to get these awards. But that's a good problem to have, I think. All right, thank you. I know you're watching. Thank you. What else did this family want to do? Well, they said, I know you're trying to build a school of the arts, and you're trying to make this a better environment for the School of the Arts. What's the core to the School of the Arts? Great performers, great artists, great singers, great talented people, great writers who work in the School of the Arts, great cinematographers. What do you need to attract the best students in that field? Scholarships. So in a conversation this week, the family agreed to establish $12.5 million of scholarship endowment for students pursuing their master's degree at Binghamton in the new School of the Arts. Celia, I hope you can hire a good executive director. This will be something that person can use. And these will be full scholarships, full tuition scholarships for 15 students a year, 2-year programs, steady state, 30 students total. All right, we're done. We can go home now. Faculty achievements. Every year we have some great faculty that we put up for awards. SUNY Distinguished Professors. We had 3 of them this year. 4 people winning national awards in teaching and in research. And 6 in 12 months. 6 faculty in 12 months winning NSF Career Awards. Those $500,000 5-year awards that are so key to the success of our assistant professors. Wow. Yes. I have notes up here, and after each one of these, I'm supposed to say, are you happy? But I guess you're happy. And what else do you need? What else is part of that success recipe? More faculty. You've got great faculty, let's get more. Did you know that this fall, it's the most number of new faculty, new full-time tenure-track faculty that we've ever brought in one semester. 55 new faculty in the fall. A little bit of that, a significant amount of that was the backlog that we had during the pandemic where we just couldn't do searches. We couldn't complete searches. So we were almost recruiting 2 years of faculty members. And they're in lots of different programs spread across the campus. And if you remember last year's State of the State address by our governor, she allocated $53 million for faculty, for SUNY faculty, to grow federally sponsored research. And our piece of that was $6.5 million. Donald Hall, our provost, and the deans worked together to come up with a hiring plan. They identified 36 newly funded faculty, along with about 30 faculty that are replacement faculty, faculty who are replacing those who had left last year. And so we've got a lot of searches going on, 66 different searches. And I know that we're already hearing some success. This does put a lot of stress and strain on the university in terms of space, new equipment. The startup costs of STEM faculty is pretty high, but so far we're doing great. And we know the Accelerate campaign has that as one of its key objectives, is to find the funds necessary to help support, especially our young faculty, to get them to the point where they're successful. And the campaign. We launched it on April 29th, right here on this stage. It was a great event, great day. Our goal, $220 million, more than twice what our last campaign goal was. We're at $160 million right now that we've raised. We only have 18 months left. It's a lot to go, but I haven't added in, because we don't actually record these gifts until the end of the month, the $25 million and the $12.5 million. So we add those two in, and you can do the math. We're pretty close to $200 million, which means we've got about $22 million left in order to complete the campaign in about 18 months. That's going to take some work, but I know that our development officers can do it. In fact, I'm going to guess that they're going to beat it. I'm going to guess that they get this done before the end of the campaign. And then what do? You raise the goal. So that would be great, to be able to raise the goal from $220 million to something bigger. Oh, every month, Mary Beth Curtin, who's here, sends me a report called the Sponsored Programs Activity Report. And this is just a little cut from it, where it lists all the schools in SUNY. So this last report was from July 1st to December 31st. And I'm looking through it, and I'm going, boy, this looks kind of strange, because usually it's Stony Brook and Buffalo, and even Albany, and then downstate medical or upstate medical. And I'm looking at this one, I'm going, whoa, wait a minute. What? Now, Mary Beth will tell you, hey, Harv, this is one snapshot. It's not going to last for very long, because the reason we're there is because we just won this huge award that all came in December, which is okay with me. And you know, you've heard this before, the NENY, $63.7 million of federal funding, $50 million of state support, largest grant by 10 in the history of Binghamton University, spearheaded by Stan Whittingham, and who's our Nobel Prize winner? Do you remember that? Per Stromhag, Associate Vice President for Research, and his colleague in all of this proposal writing, Olga Petrova, who is just an outstanding organized writer for these programs. It's going to be in Endicott at the former IBM facility there, Building 258. We're moving forward pretty quickly. We've got design changes for the building. We're hiring staff to man the building. And as you know, this is going to be a prototype manufacturing line where future employees as well as companies can come and learn how do you manufacture lithium-ion batteries, and who better to teach them than the person who invented them, Stan Whittingham. And then Per and Olga said, you know, there's this other idea that's coming along, opportunity that's coming from the National Science Foundation. It's a $160 million grant. We're going to put in a proposal to say what we're doing in NENY is the base. We're going to do even more. And so they just submitted this past week, and on top of the NENY, a $160 million proposal to the National Science Foundation in order to add things such as more workforce development, more entrepreneurial work, more startup company support, so that we can not only improve battery manufacturing in this country, but create the companies and the entrepreneurs that will be the ones who do that. We won't hear for a couple of months, but I'm pretty confident that once you win one of these things and you start going back in for doing the same thing but with a little extra emphasis on it, you tend to have a big advantage. And so we'll look forward to those expenditure reports, Mary Beth, wherever you are, after this proposal is decided on. The roadmap, you know, it's almost become an instinct for us to talk about the roadmap. The roadmap has grown and expanded. There's more than 60 people on the different strategic priority committees that form the steering committee. We have our full steering committee this Thursday. There's 6 of these meetings a year. There's work being done in between each one of them by the committees. At each one of the 6 meetings, one of the strategic priorities does a deep dive. Their co-chairs organize that presentation. This week, actually, we're having 2 deep dives, 1 and 2 in learning community, and 3, the inclusive campus. And it has really informed the rest of the university when you think about the things that have grown out of the roadmap. In fact, Katie Ellis, who's here, is writing a story because it is the 10th year of the roadmap. And we're going to try to get a story out to kind of talk about what was the process? How did we decide to do it this way? I mean, when we think about it, 10 years ago, there's a lot of people that weren't here 10 years ago. And I think it's important that they learn that this is the instinctive, this is the way we do business here. If you can connect your idea to some piece, some goal, some metric that's in the roadmap, about 20 goals and 20 metrics, and the targets that we have set in there, if you can identify and align your idea with that, you're much better chance of getting that started than if you're not aligned with it. And construction, lots of construction. The Bartle Library, the never-ending Bartle Library. The third floor, this 40,000 square foot space that was packed with books now will be packed with students as we redesign that entire third floor. But it won't be done until fall of 2024. I apologize for that, but this is an enormous project, and when it's done, the future generations of students that are going to be working in there are going to really understand how great that is. They won't take it for granted. They'll really understand how great that is. Old Refuse Hall, we're trying to get this back online for the fall of 2023, August 2023. It's going to be tight. We may not make it. It may open up in the middle of the fall next year, which means it's going to be hard to put students in there. It will be returned to its original configuration, but with all new amenities, air conditioning, better heating, better plumbing, better lighting, all sorts of things that will make it a better place to live. The baseball stadium complex was completed last year, so within the last 12 months that was done. Health Sciences R&D building in Johnson City is just about done. It's going to be completed in the next couple of months. And the Kramer Welcome Centers you see when you drive up Bartle Driveway, the Kramer Welcome Center, a result of a generous gift from Charlene and Roger Kramer, who built this new Welcome Center, which will be the first impression of Binghamton University. And we know you only get one chance to make a first impression. And we really think that this one is going to get people's eye as they drive up that drive. We have projects in design. These are projects that are funded. Lecture hall, $60 million from the construction fund was granted to us a few months ago. That lecture hall will be built just probably outside the brain. We're in design concepts right now. It's got about 30 classrooms. We're still trying to configure what the classrooms are. There's a great group of faculty and staff that are working on that design. East Gym expansion. We know that one of the important parts of stress relief is exercise and recreational activities. So expanding the East Gym is critical to that. And so that's going to be done probably by 2025, and it's something that we've just started to work on right now. Lots of planning left to do in that. Science 3, expanding and renovating and maintaining that space is critical because of the occupants in there. That is going to be done the construction will begin in 2023. Again, all funded through the construction fund. And our field house, which will be a field house for indoor soccer practice, men and women's, softball practice, baseball practice, as well as men's and women's lacrosse will be there. It's finishing design, will be going out for bid pretty soon, probably done around November of 2024. And then SUNY Construction Fund said, hey, what if there were no constraints? What would you like to build next? So we got a group of people together and we started to think about, well, what if the governor does what she did last year again and says, hey, I want you to hire another 36 faculty at Binghamton University. Or maybe, hey, Binghamton, you're a flagship too. Why don't you hire 50 new faculty? And then what would we do? Because we don't have room. We don't have room for any more faculty. We are full after we hire these faculty. So we've decided to look at in the two in the middle, 2 new buildings, research building that would be probably as close as we can get them to computer science and industrial engineering, 2 of our fastest growing departments on campus. And then another one that would be as close to our basic science programs, biology, chemistry, and physics. And we think that where Science 1 right now would be a perfect location to construct a new building there as well. Again, these are just ideas on a piece of paper. They are nowhere near finalized, and there's lots of time for us to tweak this, move them around, and identify exactly where they would go and what they would do. The first one is in process, though. We have a steering committee. We have a consulting group. We're looking at how we're going to reformat the structure of this fine arts complex. It's 400,000 square feet of space. And there's a lot of things in here that can be improved if you talk to the departments that are occupying the space. So that's probably going to be a 10 to 15-year project that we're working on, but we've started that in developing what the plan is going to be. And then if we're going to keep growing, we probably need more parking, so maybe a parking garage eventually too. But they're not really keen on building parking garages, but we think we probably could use one. And the partnership with SUNY Broome, right? What we're trying to do is we're trying to help them improve their enrollment, and at the same time, we're trying to turn around that problem that I identified before where we are lacking transfer students. We don't have enough transfer students to meet our goal. Transfer students are critical to us, but they're also critical to the community. These are students who, trying to save money, went to the local community college and now want to go to a four-year institution. We have to find those students. We have to encourage them to go to community college and do the best they can. How can we do that? Well, about 9 years ago, we created something called the Binghamton Advantage Program, BAP. And what that is a student who applies to Binghamton, maybe they live in Westchester, they applied to Binghamton University, and they just didn't really quite make, they're close, but they didn't make the cut. We would say, this is our offer. If you go to SUNY Broome for 1 year, you can live on our campus in the Dickinson dormitories, you, after 1 year, if you maintain a 3.0 GPA, you can get an automatic guaranteed spot as a sophomore at Binghamton University. It's called the BAP program. Works wonderfully. In fact, when you look at the retention and graduation statistics of those students, they are the highest graduating cohort of students on campus, and that includes our full-time first-year students. These are exceptional students. They are motivated students. They know what they want, and they're extremely successful. So why don't we try to grow that? Well, we're kind of running out of beds. So we've worked it out with Residential Life. Maybe we can get 50 new beds for them, so we could probably find 50 new students that would fill this role to help the enrollment at SUNY Broome, but also help our transfer students, and just take up 50 beds, and they're paying room and board as well. What's the next thing we could do? Well, what if, and SUNY Broome, if you've driven by, there has a small dormitory, pretty new dormitories, right at its front door, and they're not full. They probably got about 50 to 75 empty beds in that building. What if we were to admit students into a BAP 2.0, where instead of going and living here, they live there, take their courses there, enjoy all the student activities here. Now they have to take a bus this direction for their activities, but stay there for their classes as opposed to staying here for their activities and taking a bus there for classes in BAP 1.0. Would that work? Well, we don't know, but we're going to try. We're going to see if we can grow 50 to 100 BAP 2.0 students, full-time students, that would go to SUNY Broome for their first year, live on that campus, and then transfer to Binghamton. And then the third one, BAP 3, would be, what if a student wanted to live at home and they're within commuting distance of SUNY Broome? Why don't we admit them to Binghamton University, guaranteed, but we tell them in order to get that guaranteed admission, you have to go to SUNY Broome for 1 year. I think a lot of students would do that. They may have applied to Binghamton thinking, I really, really, really want to go to Binghamton. Maybe I even want to live at home while I'm going to Binghamton because it's the lowest cost way for me to get the best education possible. But I didn't get in. But they're going to say, go to SUNY Broome for a year, and then you can go to Binghamton guaranteed. If I maintain a 3.0, I'm there. And so we think between BAP 1, BAP 2, BAP 3, we can grow the enrollment by about, over 2 years, by about 600 full-time students. That's our goal, 600 full-time students. And that is the number that they need in order to solve their enrollment problem. So if we can do this, we've accomplished our goal, which is to help them recover their enrollment, and at the same time, 600 students, 300 a year, become transfer students to Binghamton, which is about how many transfer students were down this year over last year. So I think the plan is simple. It's easy to describe. Will it work? We don't know. We're working on it right now, but we hope we can do it. This is not a merger. This is not an acquisition. This is a partnership, really, between us and SUNY Broome. And we have a new chancellor. John King is an outstanding man. I was on the search committee. I got to meet him during the search process. Brilliant man, Harvard undergraduate, Columbia PhD, Secretary of Education under Obama, Commissioner of Education under Cuomo for New York State. He knows education. He's not an academic, though. And when we were looking at the candidates, there were some great academics in the pool, but they didn't have the political or the government skills. Then there were some great candidates who had political and government skills, but they didn't have the academic skills. And I said, hey, and there were several presidents on the search committee, we got the academic thing, don't worry. Get somebody who knows the government and has the government and political skills. That's the leader that we need for SUNY right now. And John visited campus recently. I think he loved it. Got to meet Stan Whittingham, showed him his laboratory, and he's working really hard on the most important positive budget proposal that came out from the governor's State of the State address. And if you read or looked at it very carefully, it is, the timing couldn't be better, it is a $1 match for every $2 of endowment gift that we get. Endowment, we mentioned that a little bit earlier. So if this is passed by legislation, and they will count the 2 gifts that we just received, this would allow us to get from the state of New York $18 million, right? 37.5 divided by 2, $18 million of endowment from the state into our foundation endowment to use for whatever purpose we need. Happy. And some smiling faces here. I've got a good group of people who've joined us over the last year. Donald Hall, my new best Don. It's good to have a Don that is consistently the best. And he's done a wonderful job. It's like he's been here for decades already. He knows everybody and everything, and I can just sit back and be happy. We have Donald here. Shelley Dion, already making a huge impact on the School of Management, filling huge shoes of Upinder Dhillon. Raju Nagaraju, the Dean of the School of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences, started this year. Lynn Jones, the Executive Director of Major Gifts and Planned Giving, came from us from Syracuse University. A great development officer, will help us with finishing the Accelerate campaign and then raising the goal and moving forward from there. Our new athletic director, I think he's here. Gene, you're here somewhere. Gene Marshall, right there, who is our new athletic director. I'm going to give him, even though we have to give his predecessor, Dennis Klein, a lot of the credit for the athletic performance. Thank you, Dennis. Gene is here to even raise the bar from that, so I know that he's going to do that. And just want to mention tomorrow night, even though there's going to be a horrible storm going through, there's a basketball game at 7 o'clock against Vermont. It'd be nice if people could be there, so I'll give you all a ride home, I promise. And our new executive director of the Alumni Engagement, Matt Winston, who came to us from Virginia Tech. Some outstanding new members of our leadership team. And a good place to start to wrap it up, our alumni, right? The finished product. Hakeem Jeffries. Has he been in the news or what? And a great article that just came out, you should read it, I think it was on Dateline today, a great article about his experience at Binghamton University in the fraternity Kappa Alpha, where he talks about his experience at Binghamton and how important that was. Well, he doesn't actually, there's interviews of other people. He didn't actually get interviewed for the article, but it's a great article about Hakeem and mentioning Binghamton University. Donna Lupardo, re-elected this year for her 10th term as an assemblywoman. I don't think Donna's here, but congratulations, Donna. And Leah Webb, our former University Diversity Education Coordinator, class of 04, is now in the New York State Senate. So congratulations, Leah, and boy, do we have some things for you to get for us in Albany. And then a couple of other alumni who engaged with us over the last year. We had, as I said, we had the public launch for the campaign on this stage, and we were lucky enough to have both Sunny Hostin and Jamie Floyd present at that event in order to get the launch going as fast and as quickly as possible and as exciting. 2 celebrities, 2 television and radio celebrities to have on your campus and as part of your alumni network. And then, as a follow-up to that, as a request from Ann Bailey, both Sunny and Jamie appeared at the SUNY Global Center in New York City for a fundraiser for the Tubman Center and spoke highly of Binghamton University there. So it's great to have alumni who can contribute their celebrityism to the Binghamton University cause. And just recently, after a 3-year hiatus, we had our alumni networking event in New York City. Hundreds of alumni and hundreds of students gathering the way we used to do it to make those networking connections that are going to last a lifetime. And we want to thank our alumni and, of course, the Alumni Office and the Career Services Office who runs these programs and puts together the schedule for our students that are down there. Happy. 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 Thanks.